Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1226. A little late today, and probably going to be late for the foreseeable future. Biscuit's on increased medication, so I am her morning nurse administering the 7 a.m. pills. So that's why I am late today, and I'll be late tomorrow, and hopefully for several days. The longer that I'm late means Biscuit is still with us. So Biscuit's on increased meds, so she's on like 11. My wife's a night owl, so she takes the late 11 p.m. med, and I take the 7 a.m. because I'm a morning guy, and then there's a 3 p.m. medication. So and we share responsibilities on that one. So that's why it's 7:40 and we're just firing this off. We'll see. Today I decided just to sleep till 7, where normally I won't. I think I won't be going right at 7, but probably 7:15. It won't be this late because I'll wake up at my normal time, get ready, do the 7 a.m. Biscuit med, and I also have to take her potty because she's on Lasix, which or it's a diuretic, so she's going potty a little more as well. So that's what's up. I'm still like, I thought about this because I was just talking to some dealers Saturday at the Madison card show, and I'm like, it usually was you going to Cleveland, not going to Cleveland, and I'm glad. I just went, was away for 2 weeks, and I had to hit the ground running. Like, I had very little sleep when we got home last Saturday night, shitty sleep, and then Sunday I just worked all day, getting caught up on shipping. Monday, getting caught up on shipping. Tuesday, shipping. Wednesday, getting ready for the Madison card show. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a lot of Madison card show work. Obviously Saturday, and then yesterday was my first kind of like. And it sounds ridiculous. You were in Europe for 2 weeks, and now you're complaining about being burned out. And it's funny how just one like international travel day, can screw you up, especially when you have to hit the ground and you're not used to it. I'm used to just waking up and coming to my basement. So first world problems, I guess. So I'm glad I'm not going to the National, just because it's a good time for me to and I mean, really the main reason I didn't want to go to the National was I'm in Europe for 2 weeks. I come back, I'm getting caught up on shipping, and then I have the Madison card show, and then I would have to turn right back around, get caught up from being Friday and Saturday. I'm not doing much shipping, to ship on Monday and Tuesday, and then I'd probably leave Tuesday afternoon for Cleveland, get there late Tuesday night. That way I'm ready on Wednesday morning to get checked in and all that stuff. So that would have been the plan. Had I decided to go to the National this year, I would have worked through Monday and Tuesday morning, and then probably tried to take off by 11 or noon, because it's about a 9-hour drive. So and that's without construction, which I'm sure there's plenty of it, especially in Illinois. So yeah, I want to leave by noon, get there, by 9-10 o'clock, get checked into the hotel, and then I'm ready bright and early Wednesday morning, get my coffee, and that way I'm not rushing, because there's nothing worse than traveling the day of. If you want to get into the National on Wednesday when doors open for the VIPs at 3 or 3:30, there's nothing worse than traveling all day and then getting in and then being there. I'm also a wimp, so I'd rather just stay an extra night Tuesday, get in Tuesday night, be able to unwind, get a little sleep, Uh, and Wednesday morning, I can wake up on my own time. If I get in late, I can sleep in a little bit. I can get my morning coffee and just prepare for the day and then get to the venue for check-in. I think check-in begins at like what, 11 usually. Get there 11, 12 o'clock, just kind of hang out for a couple hours and then go in when the doors open. But alas, no national for me this year. I think I'm just kind of going to only go to the Chicago Nationals, which is good for me because Chicago will be hosting the next 3 years. So golf clap for that. So, because I didn't go to Atlantic City, and I'm not going to Cleveland. The first time I got FOMO for the National, I'm a rookie when it comes to the National. I am no veteran. I've only been to 3, 2019, 2021, and 2023 last year. So I'm still I still consider myself a rookie. But the 2000 was at 18. That's when I think I really. Now I've been collecting cards since the late 80s. I remember even as a kid, I remember friends saying, "Wow, you have the most baseball cards I've ever seen." And I had a few hundred, right? Maybe a couple thousand. But I was just always, when I collected cards, I was full bore. I was 100% into cards. And then when I was not into cards, I was 0%. I'm like 0 or 100. I got into wrestling in the mid 90s and I was 100%, didn't know anything about cards. And from 1995 to 1998, got back into cards in 98 for a year or two. Went to college, didn't care about cards anymore. And then that kind of happened. And then 2012 was kind of when I really reinserted myself. I wouldn't really call it a collection. I'm like, and I've talked about this multiple times. Like, what's the difference between a bulk buy and a collection? There's a big difference. I bought 30,000 cards yesterday, maybe 35,000. Not a collection. It was just a bulk buy. The estate sale, that was more of a collection. The first bulk buy / collection, kind of a tough call here, was at an antique mall in Good Hope, Illinois. Shout out Good Hope, all 400 residents there. There's an antique mall right on the intersection of Route 67 and Route 9. And my buddy Dave's sleeping in. He's a teacher, so that's why we're missing a lot of people. Sports card ripping teacher, Andy, Dave, they're all teachers. They're sleeping in. No wonder we're light on the chat. So Dave, this is 2012. I was working at WIU at the time. He calls me and he says, "Hey, the antique mall up in Good Hope's got a bunch of cards. You want to run up there?" I'm like, okay. He's like, "I've got my eye on," I think it was a 1995 Topps Complete, the box set from 95, 96, somewhere in there, mid 90s. Something you don't see even back in 2012. All right. So we took a little Sunday drive. It's only 6 miles to Good Hope. And they had like 2 6-foot tables of just junk wax, basically. But a lot of like unique stuff too. Not just your run-of-the-mill 91 Fleer. They had the 95 Topps. It was basically late 80s into the late 90s, really. And I think the price tag, the sticker on the 90, let's just call it 95 Topps complete set. The sticker price was $25. And Dave goes to the employee, owner, whoever was the guy working, and said, "Will you take 20 for this? Sticker price 25. He goes, "No, I got to have 25. Like, what? Like, I get it. It's probably consignment and whoever. It's an antique mall. It's basically you rent the tables. So I get it. Like, the person that owned the table probably said, "Don't take anything less than sticker." So I understand. But here's what I don't understand. So I'm looking around and like, there's a lot of cool stuff. But again, the sticker is a little overpriced. So the guy says, but I'd take 200 for everything. And there's a lot. Like sticker was well over $200. And like, I'm like, that's a really good deal. And I didn't want it all. I lived in a tiny house and I didn't have the room for a lot of this stuff. So Dave and I start talking. I'm like, we should do this. Like, you can get your set and we can split and break this off. I'll flip it. You do whatever. Dave's kind of a hoarder. I'm sure he still has all of the stuff he bought. And I'm like, let's just split it. $100 and we'll split it in half. So we did. So like, okay, we'll take it for $200. We loaded up Dave's truck and we went back to my house and put everything in the living room and had like a draft. And it's like, okay, Dave, you found it and you want the 95 top. So you get the first pick. And so you get the 95 top set. And then so I got the second pick. I don't even know what I grabbed. But I grabbed a ton of like the 1990 Swell Greats unopened boxes. And I should have kept them unopened, but I ended up ripping them all. And I was selling sets for like $20-$30 a pop. This was back in 2012 and made my money back and then some just on those 90 Swell Greats. There was a Billy Ripken F base and a Steve Young rookie card that was in a box that was in my booty. Good stuff. I would call that like more of a bulk buy because it wasn't really it could have been somebody's collection, but I don't know. It's kind of semantics, I guess. So I picked up a bulk buy yesterday. A little over 30,000. He's like, I probably have 100,000, but obviously I couldn't bring it all. So he was able to get like 30,000, 35,000 cards. So we did we had agreed on a number based on like the 50,000 and he's like, we could only fit, let's just call it 30,000. So here's the number. So it's about 8 cents a card. So you can do the math on what I paid. And there's some good stuff. There's some like, I don't know if I'm going to do a video just going through everything, but maybe I'll do a video and just show some of the hits. We'll get to that. I'll show. I've only gone through one box. I think there were 5 5-row boxes, 2 4-row boxes in a 3-row box. I think that's kind of what the numbers ended up being. So yeah, so that's what I did yesterday. What else? That's about all I did. I was lazy yesterday, which was kind of nice. Madison Card Show really took it. It was a lot more work. And I don't think it was because of the 4th room. I mean, that added a little bit more work and more steps throughout the day. But I don't know. It was just, there was a lot more. I don't know if I touched on this yesterday, but there was a lot more moving parts with the Madison Card Show this weekend than there usually is. And I'm talking about not late. I don't think I took any late cancel. I did take 1, 2. I had one no show, but that was in the Pokemon room. So it didn't really, I mean, there's no table. So they bring their own table. So there was just an empty space there. I had a couple issues that were my own creation where I put the name in the wrong spreadsheet. So that left 2 tables open downstairs in the Williamson ballroom. I doubled up a name that I thought, so most of the extra work was me. And I think that could have had to do with doing a lot of this in Europe and just not really being 100% aware of, I wasn't focused. I was lacking focus. I wasn't drinking my mushroom coffee while I was doing a lot of this, but I had put down, and I'd actually had one of my dealers, Doug, he's brought his own table a couple times, and I've had a table for him a couple times. I told him I had a table, and I even marked it, but it was in a row where it was mostly bring your own tables. And I doubled up and I'm like, oh, okay. And I just didn't. So I didn't have a table for him. So I had to bring out the big old ballroom circular wedding table, and I'm like, I know this isn't ideal, so this is all I got. I had them check the basement for any extra tables they didn't have, so I refunded his table fee. I'm like, I know it's not ideal. Here's your money back. Um, then I made another mistake. It was first thing in the morning. I had somebody cancel, but I didn't read the full message. I just saw it pop up and it's like, hey, family emergency, I can't come to the show. So I just didn't open the whole message. And so somebody had reached out and said, hey, do you have any last minute cancels? I said, yes, actually I do. And then when I opened the message, it was, but I've got my cousin covering for me. I'm like, oh shit. Fortunately, there was one extra table. This was before I didn't know I didn't have a table for Doug. There was an extra table upstairs in a closet. So was able, and I had one space in the mezzanine for him. So the issues were caused by my own doing. And I think that's another reason where maybe it's time that I get an assistant to help me out on some of these things to where I am not spread so thin that I'm making mistakes. Everything worked out, but it caused extra work for me and it caused some slight headaches for some others. So we want to avoid all mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen in everything you do, but you just have to limit those mistakes. So I didn't do much Sunday. I did some shipping. I did some list. I think I did list the non-sport. Oh shit. I listed some non-sports, the whole stack that I bought from Jeff. Card Dealer Pro does do non-sports now. Let's throw the 99-cent cards. There it is. Card Dealer Pro does recognize non-sports, but not everything. I think it did about half. It recognized the Olympics cards. It recognized most of the wrestling cards. It did not recognize the 90210. It did not recognize, I don't think it recognized the 1980 Star Wars. And it did not recognize pop cards or Beavis and Butthead, but it recognized the Olympics and the WWE cards and the wrestling cards. So I did list some of those. I listed some 92 Bowman baseball, and I think I listed some 75 Topps baseball singles. So 99centcards.com, buy 7 or more at regular price, and you'll save 25% off at checkout. Let's get to the chat. Terry's in the house. Good morning. Low Roller wants to know if I'm going to the National. No, we just talked about that. Brian says, going to have to spend the cheese to get YouTube Premium. Can't take 3 months of political ads, right? Here we are. Lots of political. I think because even card accounts are tweeting about all the crap that's going on in politics. And so I think if I mute all of those words, I'm going to have an empty Twitter feed because everybody's talking about it. So I'm going to try to be the antithesis and not talk politics. Good morning, Jody. Bargain Boxer wants to know, how much was the collection? So what I bought yesterday from the Singles Club was probably a little over 30,000 cards, paid 8 cents a card. Bargain Boxer's getting ready for the National. He says one day. Royals 417, good morning. Since I'm not going to Cleveland, I was able to head to Council Bluffs. I heard that was a good show for what the promoters called the pre-national. Picked up some great 72 high numbers. Nice. Orlando's in the house. Good morning. Royals 417 says, in my opinion, YouTube Premium is worth it. I did. Olympics cards listed, celebrity cards listed, wrestling cards listed, 99centcards.com. Check them out. Mikey's in the house. iMac desktop computers are awesome. I'm currently trying to set mine up. I am not a Mac guy. For 3 years, I worked on nothing but Macs. Mac desktops at the university, Mac desktops at the newspaper that I moved My mic was muted. That's weird. Macs at the university, Macs at the newspaper, and Mac laptops when I was covering games for the newspaper. And for 3 years, I never understood a Mac for 3 years, working on Macs every single day, every single night. Just didn't like them. I am in the market I think I'm going to wait until my laptop is just, remember the laptop. If you remember a year ago, all the way back to a year ago, Hobby Evolution, and it took me 30 minutes just to fire up my laptop to go live. I still have that laptop, and that's what I use. Once it gets warmed up and going, it's okay, but that's the problem. So I am going to be in the market for a new laptop. I'm going to wait till November, December when they have sales. That's when I bought the desktop I'm using now. I love it. It's an HP. Absolutely love it, and got it for a really, really low price. So I'm going to wait till November, December when electronics go on holiday sales. Brian, goody, LRS is back. Happy Monday. Mikey, we need to meet up at the National. There you go. Let's see. Brian says, never been to the National. I want to go to the Madison Card Show before the National. Hey, you've got 12 opportunities every year to come to the Madison Card Show. Next show, Saturday, August 24th. If you can't make that, Saturday, September 28th. And then October, November, December dates to be announced. Brian's got to test his shoes to make sure I got comfy ones before I get to the National. Make sure, hey, if you're going to the National, make sure to wear comfortable shoes. That's the number one tip. Wear comfortable shoes. Mr. Archer, good morning. I did. So I think you probably missed the explanation. Biscuit's on a new routine of medication. So I am giving Biscuit medication at 7 a.m. She's got to go potty at 7 a.m. and take her medication. And so I am the early morning medication giver. My wife takes the late night and we share the afternoon meds. Tracy, good morning. Flawed Thinker, what's happening? So I will be starting later than usual for the foreseeable future. Probably not as late as today, but probably 7:15 will probably be a normal start time from now on. Flawed Thinker says, was working on a deal with a guy for a lot of cards, and then he ghosted me for some reason. Ended up buying into a chrome break. Hit the holiday red of 5 non-auto. Happy the deal fell through. That's good luck. That's karma right there. That is karma. And the guy who ghosted you, he's going to get bad breaks for eternity. Bad karma for him. Dustin, good morning. Love watching and listening while I do some shipping stuff. Glad to have you. Welcome to the chat. Philly Joe, good morning. Did you purchase any 2024 Topps Chrome? The answer is a resounding no. I don't know if I've ever bought Topps Chrome. I certainly have not bought well, maybe I did. Maybe 1 year I did. Back in the day when blasters were $20, I bought blasters, but no. Topps Chrome has always been too high, especially for the return you get. Even if you buy a hobby box at $250 a box, your one auto is likely going to be. Let's just take a look to see what cheap, oh shit, today's my anniversary. I did not know today was my anniversary. My mom just texted me, happy anniversary. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh shit. Today is my anniversary. Oh man, thanks. Mom just saved me. I bet my wife doesn't know either. Let's see. What was I Topps Chrome. Topps Chrome 2024 Topps Chrome Auto. And let's see. Let's go buy it now. Lowest price. Should probably get my wife a card or something. 2024 Topps Chrome Auto. Buy it now. Well, everything's still pretty high. Oh, let's do sold. Let's see. Sold 2024 Topps Chrome Auto. A lot of best offers, and I'm not on 130 points. So we want sold. Let's do auction. This could be a bloodbath, but auctions may not have ended. So, okay, so here's some good examples. 2024 Topps Chrome. Oh, wait, best. Never mind. These are best offer accepted on that one. Okay, that's a failure in my investigation. Jonathan, good morning. Bo buys bulk baseball and basketball bargain boxes because bidding on Bartman's ball baffles bid. That's a tongue twister. Kyle, good morning. Brian says, weren't you in logistics? I was. I could see normal people messing up their show. I was in logistics, yes. But I was on the sales side. So I did dabble in operations when I had to, when it was like important clients, shipments had to get out, then I dealt in operations. But it takes, and you can tell the minds of an operations guy in logistics and a sales guy in logistics, because a sales guy in logistics is a sales guy. An operations guy in logistics is like analytical and focused. I'm more of the not the latter, the former. My wife will not want to assist me in my card. She does. I mean, she does a lot of my graphic design work. She creates some signs for me. But I need like somebody with me on show day. I do use a spreadsheet. I use Google Sheets. And some of the problems I run into, which this weekend wasn't the first time, and it probably won't be the last time. What happens is people book months in advance, and I'll just open the wrong spreadsheet. And I'm just kind of not paying close enough attention. And that's what happened this month. One of the dealers said, I can't do July, but I can do August, 2 tables. And I put his name down in the July spreadsheet instead of the August spreadsheet. So those are some of the problems I run into. And again, it's my own fault. Jordan, good morning. Peter, good morning. Let's see. I'm not listing any of that. No. Lewis, good morning. No, not doing that either. I have a theory that not talking politics as a seller of fine cards is a good idea. I think when you're in business, like when you're selling anything, like just stay out of it. And Michael Jordan got so much shit for not talking politics, but it was really, as a business decision, that was really wise. Like just stay out of it. Is the best way to go about it if you're in business, because people will stop buying from you if you take one side or another, and if you're outspoken about it. You know, we all have our beliefs, and that's okay. If you want to be outspoken about it, that's fine. That's your American right. However, there are consequences sometimes, and sometimes people don't want to deal with people who love this person or that person. Like, well, they support this guy and I don't, so I'm not going to buy from him. So just going to stay away from it. Joe, good morning. Have you looked into promoting off-site on eBay? Doesn't seem worth it for low end. So I've done some experiments with advertising on like Facebook ads. And you're right. For low end, it's not really, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. However, there are ways around it. The Madison Card Show Facebook ads that I run monthly have sponsors. So I just tack on my eBay link to those Facebook ads. And so I'm just a sponsor of the Madison Card Show on the Facebook ads. And I've got signage. I've got a poster at the Madison Card Show with 99centcards.com, over 100,000 cards in my eBay store inventory. So I'm able to get around that, where I'm not going to spend money on Facebook advertising solely for 99centcards.com. But when I can pool it together in combination with the Madison card show and other card shows that I set up at Bring the Sign. That works. Shane's in the house. What's going on? He was in Council Bluffs. Good show for me as well. Had a prearranged purchase of 10,000 cards plus a bunch of other stuff. Nice. Brian says Black Friday Lenovo. They have up to 95% off badass laptops. Oh, Lenovo. I will keep that in mind. Thank you. Shane says, now the fun part, processing the 30,000 cards I've purchased in the last week. Hey, same. Same. Let's see. Shane says, side note, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano were walking around the show Saturday. They're both shorter than me, and I'm 5'11". Thank you, Orlando. Brian says, how much was the table, low roller? For a shoot, Gargano was like 5'8". Royals 417 says, I was surprised at the amount of wrestling cards at Council Bluffs. Zach and Porter says, I'm in sales. I talk about every controversial topic and have no issue. Why? Because I rarely say anything. Most people just want to speak what they think. And as long as you nod, you are fine. That is a good point. So when I was in logistics, when I was in sales, I certainly had clients that were on one side of the aisle, and I had other clients that were on the other side of the aisle, and some were more outspoken, and they certainly wanted to talk about it. And that's exactly what I did. What Zach says. I didn't have to smile because I was usually on the phone, inside sales, but you just, yup. You don't have to counter. If you don't agree with them, you just pretend that you do agree with them. And then sometimes when it gets too off the rails, you try to steer the conversation back to something a little less divisive. Brian sent 2 Waldo candies, Ken Griffey Jr. cards from the 90s to PSA, sold for $1 in the 90s. Got 10s and sold both for $160 each. Have so many 90s promos. Gonna submit now. Nice. Those are cool cards. Those Waldo candy cards are cool. Good morning, Stuke. What's happening? Zach says, people love talking about themselves, and in this climate, even more so, want to passionately talk about politics. They rarely speak to people without an opinion back. When you don't have one, they love it. Yes. So I picked up 30,000 cards yesterday. So the Singles Club reached out to me a couple weeks back and said, hey, we've got like 50,000, cards that would be in our dollar boxes at the National. We don't have time to sleeve them. Would you want to buy them in bulk? I'm like, yeah. So kind of shared, little details on what they were. And obviously visiting their booth a few times over the years, I know what is typically in those boxes. So we agreed on a price. We met up last night. They're based out of North Dakota, and so they drive right through Madison. And so we met up along the interstate, and ended up being, he said, well, there's only going to be about 30,000, so we'll just do the same rate. Here's the price. Done. Deal. And I went through one box last night, started going through. I pulled some cards aside just because these are cards that if they were in a dollar box, I would buy for $1, and Singles Club, would hook me up if I bought, a whole bunch of cards and, give me a little discount. So these are cards that I would have pulled. Now there's a whole lot more in there, but I didn't want a huge pile on my couch as I was digging through these. But there was I think there were 1 or 2 LeBron James cards in here that I can get for 75 cents each to a local buyer. Aaron Rodgers, I get 25 cents a card from my buyer. So there were $5 to $10 worth of Aaron Rodgers and LeBron James cards in there. A bunch of Tom Brady cards, which I can sell lotted up for around $1 each on eBay. A ton of refractors, which, I can get about 30 cents for the refractors. So these are some of the better cards. I want to sleeve this one up. This one I was surprised. I thought, I might be able to get a few bucks, but this, I comped this Georges St. Pierre refractor This is about a $15 card, 15 bucks. This is a Red Wave rookie Amanda Lemos UFC. This is about a $250, $3 card. Cooper Cup, this one I thought would have been more. This is only about a $2.50 card. But it may be at that price, it may be liquid, especially as training camp begins this week. Rajon Rondo rookie card from Topps Chrome. It's got a $4 sticker. This is probably going to be listed for $750. Flawed Thinker says, isn't 2018 first year UFC? Oh, that might be. This is 2018 Topps Chrome. And I think there's more of that in this box. I'll have to go check it out. There were some Juan Sotos. So these are some early Juan Sotos, 2019 Topps Chrome Future Stars. That's about a $3 card. Same with this one, second year 2019 insert, $253. A couple of Topps Chrome Rookie Gold Cups. These are about $3 a pop as well. Believe it or not, Johnny Manziel sells. This is Believe the Hype insert from Prism rookie card. That could go as high as $5. Here's some early Prism. This is second year Prism, I believe, 2013-14. Silver Prism, Amare Stoudemire, a few bucks on that one. Here's a Prism Brett Favre. This is about $3. Let's see. Here's a Bryce Harper 2014 Bowman is back insert. That's about $5. I was surprised by that. And I didn't look this one up, but I'm sure this $253. 2013 Bowman foil Gronkowski. And this is an early card. He was drafted in 2010. So this is earlier card. So probably $253 on that one. So those are some of the cards. Just looking out of the, I wonder if I can try to find the, I don't know what row that was in, but there's some duds in there. There's a lot of cards that will go in my quarter box. But again, I bought these for 8 cents. Hopefully they're liquid enough that I can sell them at a quarter a piece. There's some stuff that I can sell to my buyer, get money back there. And then there's going to be some gems in there, just like you go to the dollar card, you go to the singles club at the National, and you're pulling out sometimes some 10, 15, maybe even $20 cards out of the dollar boxes. So may come into those, and I'll have to look for those UFC cards, those 2018 Topps Chrome. Let's see. Brian says, Dad at kids football practice told me his hobby was politics. I said, sucks being angry is a hobby, and never talked to him again. Let's see. Brian says it will say refractor on the back, and they're rainbow shiny, not silver shiny. Yes, so that's what there you go. That's the difference between a refractor. Usually they say refractor. Most of the time they do say refractor on the back of the card. Sometimes they don't, but you can tell it refracts light, so it's got a rainbow shine to it. Flawed Thinker says, hope you will find at least one diamond in the rough. It's the thrill of the hunt that we all love. Absolutely. And, I'm not expecting to find any $50 cards, but it's the $10 cards and the $5 cards that, help you get back to that break-even point. Brian says, Bo, I'm thinking of starting a bulk collection goal of a certain Pokemon. Not a million, but maybe quantity, 10K or 100K. Top 3 things to not do when collecting bulk. Maybe a topic for another show. Ooh, top things not to do when collecting bulk. Ooh, I'd have to think about that. Mistakes that you can make when collecting bulk. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll have to think that one over. Brian says, where the hell do they get all these cards that they can sell you at 8 cents? Crazy stuff. Yeah, they bought, I think they buy these huge collections. They buy these huge collections, and a lot of it comes from, and here's the thing, because sometimes my quarter boxes can be loaded with, stuff like this that I just miss, or I've just got too much of. When you're buying bulk and when you have a whole bunch into it, And when you have your price point at 8 cents, you can get away with selling $2, $3 cards at a quarter. Same when you buy at such a low price, they're probably getting these a penny a card, maybe 2 cents a card. You can afford to sell 30,000 cards at 8 cents a piece without even really looking through it because you're dealing in so much bulk. So that's the way. You know, sometimes when I have my best dollar boxes and quarter boxes, it's because I'm swimming in inventory. Hint, hint, Sunday, August 11th, Janesville, Wisconsin, I'm swimming in inventory. So I'll probably have some good quarter boxes and dollar boxes. Because I'm just dealing with so much, just trying to get through it all. So that's why. Brian says, I know Golden rips cases with his kids. I wonder if he sells everything not worth $1,000 in bulk. And so this is a good point. A lot of times the best bargain boxes come from guys who are breakers, case breakers. And it doesn't have to be like Golden or Backyard Breaks or, you know, big time breakers. Some of my best bulk buys here locally are from a guy and his kids, and they buy, I mean, probably tens of thousands of dollars in Bowman products. Well, it's got to be because of all the cases they rip. And they'll have first chrome refractors in dime boxes from like the most recent product. And then I'm like, hey, well, how much will you sell everything for? Back, you know, the first time I bought from him, Jackson Holiday first Bowmans and first Bowman chromes in the 10-cent box. And I think the chromes were in the quarter box. And the chromes were selling for 40. And the papers were selling for 12 to 15. And I think I got like 30 or 35 of the papers. But they take the best cards and sell them and hopefully make their money back or grade them. And that's their bread and butter is the hits. And then everything else is like, well, I don't want 40 Jackson Holiday first papers because they only sell for $10 or $15. Like I want the $1,500 cards. So, yeah, find the breakers and look in their bargain boxes because usually those are the good ones. Flawed Thinker says they probably sell enough that when they get to a certain amount of profit, they find it makes sense to just unload the rest and move on. 100%. Absolutely 100%. And that's why sometimes I sell steak at yogurt prices. Thank you, John Keating. Because when I have 8 cents into a card, 5 cents into a card, if it's worth $10 and I sell it for $2, I'm okay with that. Would I like to get $10? Absolutely, but I'm not going to cry over a missed opportunity like that because a lot of those other sales and some of the 70s stuff is just flying out of my store. Set builders are coming in buying 20, 30, 40 cards at a time working on these sets. By the way, check out my eBay store. If you're working on any 70s set, I've got it in bulk. Mainly 72 to 70. Right now, 72 to 75 is what is listed now. I just started listing some 75 baseball yesterday. So kind of the later 70s. The football and basketball will take precedence over the baseball just because there's so much 76, 77, 78 baseball available. Whereas football and basketball, far less volume produced of those products, football and basketball from the 70s. So I'll work on, once I get through, I'll list a few hundred more 75s, and then I'll probably go back to listing, where's my box, whatever is in basketball. And what do I have left for baseball? Oh, I still have 75. I still have about 875 75 tops basketball to list. Zach says, just find Bo Broder cards and you'll be using $100 bills as bait on your rod. I hope that doesn't get flagged. Hey, I don't know if I might have mentioned it. But I did go fishing Saturday night, was catching bluegills like crazy. I looked up bluegills. I Googled bluegills. Apparently they're really dumb and bluegills are the best to target for beginners. And I'm like, hey, that's me. I just want to throw the rod in the pond and have some fun. Oh, I caught a fish. The thrill of the hunt, just like my baseball cards. Fishing out of my backyard for bluegills. Pokemon. Brian says, do you think a vendor who sells 3D printed accessories for cards and collecting boxes, dividers, could have a presence at a card show? Not only could they do. In fact, I have one dealer who he might have some cards. Card Grids is his name. He has 3D printed accessories. He does some of the cases. Kind of very similar to what I bought for my Superfractor necklace. Stuff like that. Card stands I know are big with 3D accessories in cards. So yeah, Card Grid sets up. He's been setting up the last few months at my show, and he does 3D printed, and pretty much predominantly that's all he does. I have another dealer upstairs, and she has some 3D printed accessories, but she sold out like immediately. And she does mainly Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift, and she kills it. She does custom art and custom cards. And she absolutely crushes it with Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark stuff. And she's like, these are the only 2 3D card stands. And so they're card stands that say Caitlin Clark, Taylor Swift, and then obviously she has Taylor Swift, Caitlin Clark cards in there. And she's like, I'm thinking about buying a 3D printer and making these because they sell so well. So yes, absolutely. They're 3D printed accessories absolutely could have a presence at a card show, and you don't see too much of that. So if you do have 3D printing and you are printing it, I think Brian, you are doing it. Red Light 34 does it. So if you can find a card show in your area, Macomb, by the way, Brian, not too far from you, hit it up and check it out, because I think there absolutely is a presence. And I've got a couple dealers that do it in Madison. Kyle says, I find eBay bulk deals regularly on NASCAR from people that got them in bulk buys of baseball, football. Yes, there you go. I love buying NASCAR cards for under a penny. There you go. Kyle, you're going to have like a storage shed on your property for all your NASCAR finds. And I'm slowly but surely, there hasn't been, those early Goodwill pallets seemed like nothing but NASCAR. And now it's like, here's a card. Not much there. James says, give me a hell yeah. Let's see. Kendall's in the house. Good morning. When you have a random assortment of cards in a 4-row with a plan to list everything, what have you found to be the quickest way to work through it? Pre-sort or just grab and go randomly? I am a grab and go, especially with my inventory system. So basically now the 70s stuff I did sort. Because it was really easy to sort, first of all. But it was mainly for the most part, it was kind of lotted in the year piles. So I did sort the 70s stuff. So basically what I'll do, I'll grab a stack. Here's 75, 76 Topps basketball. Now I will go through just to make sure there's no like creases, no damage. And then I'll try to take out the duplicates. Because when you're dealing with 70s, there's a lot of off centering and miscuts and that. So I'll just go through real quick, do a once over on everything. Everything looks to be, I'm going to call this excellent condition because I don't really want to say it's near mint. But I'll go through. Okay, this is good. I'll scan it all through, and this is going to get assigned. So the last batch was tab 26AG. So we'll go 26AH if there's room. And so scan and list, and in no time at all. So in fact, we haven't done a Card Dealer Pro in a while. So let's throw that. So if you are looking into Car Dealer Pro, go to cardealerpro.com. If you want to sign up, use promo code Cubs. You'll receive 500 free scans upon any paid subscription. So just use promo code Cubs at cardealerpro.com. So let's get everything set up. I'm going to show you how quickly I can list 70s cards on Car Dealer Pro. So let's present cardealerpro.com. So these are my batches. So I have not scanned these yet. So actually, let's make sure my folder is empty. Okay, it is. Oh, I got to turn my scanner on. So this is I'm guessing there's going to be 75 or 80 cards in this batch, which is for me is ideal. I've been doing 100 cards in some of the batches just because I have so much volume. But ideally, the less you have in a batch is the better, because once you go to pick the cards, you don't have to flip through 100 different cards. So we're just feeding all these cards in. Again, this is probably 80 cards. We've scanned 60 so far, and one little small pile left. So yeah, I'm right at 75 cards. Let's see what the number comes out to. See, 150 would be 75, 76, 77. So there were 77 cards in that pile. So then I just, looks like I'm going to have to share a different window. So let's remove that. And let's present a window. Here we go. All right. All right. So here's the this is the Rico, the Rico check. So we're checking things over. Some of them come in upside down, so we just do a little flippity flop. I wonder if is there anybody that's using a Rico that knows a way to like kind of get everything the right way, because it tends to be like this, and I'd like to just avoid this step if at all possible, to where I'm not spending an extra 60 to 90 seconds on flipping images. This one's a little worse than normal with the image flips. So basically, I'll price these out at $2 each, and they're in really nice condition. There's probably a couple before I upload them. I won't do it now, but I do want to double check, because I think there's like a Jamal Wilkes maybe rookie card that's a $10 card. Sidney Wicks, Jamal Wilkes, I think. All right, so we're almost to the bottom here. There's some great names. Hawthorne Wingo. Tom Borwinkle. I actually worked with him once on a state finals broadcast for basketball. Great guy. Okay. Billy Knight. There may be some duplicates on here because I didn't go through the entire pile. So this is the tedious work that I wish I could. All right, so now I need to stop sharing. Okay, so now let's go to Car Dealer Pro. All right, so this 24 AAY was my last batch. So we're going to name this AAZ. And this is basketball. We're going to use my basketball template and my generic description. We're going to call these excellent condition. We're going to price them at $2 each. We're going to create the batch. Magic scan. I don't know if you can see that window. It's in a separate window, but we're just going to the eBay folder that everything goes into. We're going to upload my 77 cards to cardealerpro.com. And we hit continue. Boom. Look at that. Immediately. Wally Jones. We just go and check. Tom Van Arsdale. I have my title template, so everything is all ready to go. Here's the checklist. It's correct. There may be a couple cards in here that are incorrect, but probably for the most part, everything is going to be accurate. So this is how I roll. There's going to be some. Okay, this one didn't. So Rick Mount did not populate. So we're going to go down to card attributes. 1975 Topps Mount. And there he is. So we've got him populated. Willie Norwood, Dennis Autry, Bobby Jones, Gar Hurd, Bobby Smith, Clyde Frazier. I thought there was going to be some that I would have to. It will also show you if your title is over 80 characters. It'll show up in red, just like this one, which didn't populate. So it'll say that. So that's Clem Haskins. Or wait, no, that's card 188. NBA semifinals. There it is. We got Hawthorne Wingo, Dave Bing, Matty Gukas, Tom Boerwinkle. So here it is. So that says the maximum length of the title. So I will go in and actually this is also the wrong card. This should be Indiana Pacers. So that misidentified. So the team leader cards, but it looks like the singles, they are all accurate. Boom, 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 boom. And there you go. So once we're done, you just hit export all cards. You go to eBay and upload. And we just listed 77 cards in how many minutes did that take? Not too long. Let's see. James says, you are no longer a novice fisherman. You are a pro. I am a rookie fisherman. Caitlin Clark is the future. Mac anything says. Oh, wait. Thumbs down to Mac. I do iPhone, but I don't like the Mac computers. James says, think bigger. Sell CT scanners. That's the new market. That's the future. Brian says, that's so cool. I tried designing my own stuff just like Grid. That is so cool. James says, or have a CT scanner at the show and charge $10 for people to have their box scanned. Mobile CT scans. I like it. Hell yeah. Orlando says, all card shops should have those things available for customers. Wonder if an ultrasound machine works. You would need KY jelly. Don't we all have that in stock? Probably works for packs, not boxes. The companies will soon use Mylar or something else to stop scanning. Brian says, vintage, it won't matter, but hey, the modern stuff can change. Are you loading cards in all different directions? No, they are all in the same upright order. They're always normal for me. Put in scanner upside down and backwards. Maybe that's my problem. So this is how I'm loading the card. I'm loading the cards like this. So maybe I need to do it upside down and backwards. Be faster to have all cards turned the same way before load rather than flipping after scan. So all the cards are. So that's what I'm wondering about, because all the cards are in this order. Like they are all in this order. But they all don't scan that way. So I don't know if there's a different, should I load them? Because this is how they're feeding in this way. So maybe if I feed them in, I don't know, this way or upside down this way. I don't know. Orlando says, nice to see Bo in action. Killing it. There you go. So that's what I had for today. Brian says, yep, upside down and backwards is what CDP said to do. Interesting. I will try that. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. We are at the 1 hour mark. 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. Hit up Card to the Pro, cardtothepro.com. Use promo code Cubs. And when you sign up for any level of subscription, you will receive 500 free scans when you use my promo code Cubs, C-U-B-S. So with that, I bid you adieu. Have a wonderful Monday. We'll do it again tomorrow morning, not at 7 a.m., probably closer to 7:15. If you missed it earlier, I'm on a different schedule. Biscuit's on a different medication schedule, so she gets her meds right at 7 a.m. So I am dealing with taking Biscuit to go potty and giving her morning meds at 7. So plan on 7:15 tomorrow morning. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.